broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Cavassuto and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
So bad.
It's just so good. It's the second,
So
guys.
exciting. It's like ready for that adventure? Okay.
It's everything. It's everything right now. All right, guys. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV's after show for the Shannara Chronicles. This will be for episode 3, so it's called Fury. By the way, thank you guys for everyone that's been watching on YouTube and leaving comments.
Yes.
Awesome. We've had like over 5,000 views. Honestly, thank you. That's what keeps us going. And feel free to leave more comments, more views. Obviously, that's going to work
Tweet
every
us.
week.
Instagram.
Tweet at us. And also, make sure you leave iTunes reviews. Really, we totally like to see and whatnot. And we like to keep in contact as much as possible. So keep it up, guys. We love it.
And we totally read all your comments.
We do.
Yes,
we really do.
Absolutely do. So joining me are my two absolutely fabulous co-hosts. Please introduce yourself, girls.
Hey guys, I'm Heather Gardner. You can find me on Twitter right now at HeatherGTV.
Hi, my name is Karie Lane, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Karie D. Lane.
And guys, I'm your lead host, Maria Cavassuto, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MGCVSST.
Tweet us right now.
Right, like
We're on
ASAP. Anyway, guys, so let's just get started. First thoughts. What did you guys think of the episode? Just kind of, let's just dive right in there.
I understand it a little more now that we have a little context. We've seen the first couple, and I'm learning names. That's a good thing.
Names are
I'm
coming
glad.
in there more now.
I'm glad Heather's on board with all the names.
It was tough the first episode. I'm not even gonna lie.
I like that there was more action going on.
Yes, there was a lot.
was
We don't
so-
have that backstory anymore, so we kind of understand
Yeah,
what's
so
going
like,
on.
all right, let's just get going. Let's move along with these characters, which is good.
Yep, it picks up right where we left off last week. So
Oh, I did love that. It literally felt like it just kept going.
Like a
you
one
had
big
push,
long
pause.
movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, I agree with you. And I was actually wondering when we left off the last episode, I'm like, what is going to happen? How is Will going to take on that fury that's like right up in his face? But guess who comes to the rescue? My fave.
It's your man.
My fave, Al-Anon. Al-Anon. I was like, I should have expected something like that
course.
because Will doesn't really know
No.
what to do yet. So we see Al-Anon obviously kick butt.
Yep.
He's so like dramatic with everything he says. Like it's not just it's Al-Anon. It's Al-Anon.
No, I think I was telling Karie, I was like, well, you guys actually, I was telling you, like the way he says Shannara, it's not just Shannara, it's like Shannara or something.
It's
it's
so
just,
dramatic.
It's very dramatic. It's very epic. It makes me feel like I'm right there, which is super cool. That's what I want, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
And
can we talk about how awesome and creepy and icky those demon things look too?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. I was like, yeah, that actually looks like something you should be afraid of. It's not just like, oh, that's a thing, run away. It's like
Their graphics are excellent on this
they're
show.
it's very, very graphic, very gory too, which I appreciate because I feel like
Yeah.
it gives it that extra zhuzh or whatever.
Yes.
But I agree with you. So scary. They've
Yeah.
got something weird going on in the face. Very intimidating.
yes.
Well, they
guess
are
I would
demons.
say. They are demons.
Yeah, it's good that they're not just like pretty or
Right.
not that they would be, but you know, they're actually disgusting looking. You know,
And
They're
dangerous. They can fly and
like,
change
you didn't think they were
shape and yeah.
They're very, very intimidating. So it's kind of cool to see how we kind of like bring one down just right off the bat to kind of get us going.
Can we talk about how the aunt is there for like half a second? We introduce her, we get kind of a little backstory about her and Al-Anon, and then all of a sudden she's gone. That was really sad.
Well, that's going to bring me to my next point because, like, first of all, yeah, I hated that. I was just like, what's going on? I kind of wanted there to be maybe more of a story there, but I guess, you know, I know in the book that's not exactly like how it happens, but I did want a story there. However, what kind of comes out of that is that Will and Amberly have this like awesome moment because she's clearly suffering over Pyrea and the loss of Pyrea.
Oh yes, that moment was nice.
Wasn't it nice? I mean,
He's
Will...
like, I lost my mom last week.
Yeah. But I was like,
feels.
it was totally the feels. It was totally the feels. Why are you laughing?
Because the way you said it. Not that it's a funny like situation. Just
Heather's like, I didn't feel anything, guys.
She's
by
like,
the way.
I was just watching my popcorn. Bring on the action.
Just bring on the action, please. Get out of this feel stuff.
Yeah.
I loved that moment. I thought it was like the first time where we, obviously, they just met each other, but I mean, it's the first time we kind of see them connect. And it very, very emotional. I really like it that there's also this kind of side to the show.
I think it builds trust between them too, because obviously they're two characters that are going to be around each other for a
solidarity
while.
together. So they are in the same boat.
Yeah. And it also helps kind of build their blossoming relationship.
Oh
I
yeah,
would
it's
say.
gonna happen.
Sure.
It's so gonna
Yes.
happen.
Well, yeah, it's already happening. Like, I mean, when he goes to get the druid, Al-Anon gets hurt by the Fury, right? So he
Of
gets
course.
kind of slashed.
Yeah.
And in order to kind of help him, cure him, he kind of dives into the lake. This lake.
I love that special mud was like far away from the dock.
Yeah,
Because
it's not right. It's not right
It
there.
goes straight there, and then, like, where is he swimming to? And then it was like a patch of it that was more red. So I was like, okay, maybe it's like you got to find the right spot.
Yeah, and we also see some sort of
magic
like metal thing in the bottom, which I also assume is like remnants of the
Old
humans
world.
past or whatever. So I was like, okay, nice little touch there. But right before that moment, I mean, when he's, I like when I saw it, I was like, this is MTV. Like, this is so MTV, because he's like,
who cares?
what did she tell him? She says like, no, he says, keep eyes up. What about eyes up there?
Eyes up here?
And I was like, this is
I
such
like
a.
that he turned it around on
Yeah,
that.
I think it's like, although I do think that as soon as, after thinking like, I do like it that he turned it around, it's kind of like a ooh, burn moment. Then he like jumps in there. I'm like, no offense, how dumb is this kid to just leave her alone on the dock like that?
Right? Come with me. Let's go for a swim.
Yeah, I like those boxes look very modern.
I'm okay. Can we just go off on a
clothes-
small tangent?
Clothes, I
They're
don't
a
think
bit
they look modern. But the
confusing.
boxers, I was like, those look like you could go buy those at the store right now.
Yeah.
I noticed that too. Not the boxers, not specifically that moment, but later on. Like, they're all kind of like warrior-esque kind of clothing. And then Will comes out jeans, t-shirt like you'd get at Target. And I'm really confused, honestly, by the wardrobe situation here.
There's
Some of the
there's
old world clothing has survived. Jeez, they last forever, you know?
I guess they must. I'm a little confused by it. I mean, Al-Anon is dressed like he's, off to battle.
literally right out of like Assassin's Creed kind of thing.
Exactly.
And then we have like
Yeah. Jeans and t-shirt. Like modern jeans. Like,
But they could have invented jeans themselves, right?
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't be wearing jeans. I'm just saying it's a bit confusing. They're just like, it's not consistent.
No, but I totally agree with you, because there's one point where I think Will's wearing like a green t-shirt.
That's exactly the point.
And I was
the one
like,
I was thinking of.
Okay, the seams are just so modern in a way. I was like, really?
Target.
It seems very like
The
well
one
done.
where it had the cutouts.
American
Yeah.
Eagle.
There's like a little cut right here, but then when you see him from behind, it's kind of like a little seam right there. And I was like, oh,
They're
this
like,
looks-
let's just take a t-shirt, cut, done, brand new.
give
brand
it
new
a
outfit.
little bit of wear and tear and make it,
Yeah.
Shannara worthy.
I did notice that.
Yeah. But so anyway, he's kind of, again, dumb. I'm sorry. Like, it's comedic and he's totally innocent and naive and kind of
He just doesn't know what he's been thrust into at this moment.
No. And then, of course, Amberly's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boy, you knew this was going to happen. Like, and the Rovers show up. So we have Eretria back, which is fun.
I like her head decoration things, by the way. I don't know if anybody's been noticing those, but I'm like, those are pretty.
I like those too. I think they're
Those are
going
a
to be
little
a big
less
hit.
modern. A little
They're
less
modern. Well, it
Target.
depends what culture. Well, it depends which culture too.
That's true.
you know?
That's true.
But
They are in
she
different
does,
areas.
and then people are doing those metallic tattoos on other parts
true.
too. So I mean, it's just
Yeah, it's a nice little way to infuse it with a little bit of like modern stuff, a little bit
Yeah.
of a hint of that modern, like those tattoos that you were talking about as well, but something that might harken
it
to
suits
the
her.
land.
Though. It looks
I
nice.
agree.
Yeah, it's like that one, and she has a bunch of cool rings, by the way, just FYI. I'm like obsessed with rings, so even though I'm not wearing any,
We can tell.
but it's all good. I'm still obsessed with them. Anyway, so they get caught by the Rovers.
Dun dun dun.
Which, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it's like the first time that we really see like Amberly versus Eretria. Well, not the first time, maybe the second time. But I really felt that this was the first time that Eretria kind of like, sorry, other way around. Amberly kind of underestimates Eretria.
Oh, she totally does.
Yeah.
I like
should
the
be
fight
feared.
in the woods. She's like, come on, let's fight right now, and gets her ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's like, really? You thought she'd fight fair?
No, and on top of that, what did she say to Will? She's like, just follow my lead. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
She literally knocked her out. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, these people like need to not trust each other, not trust
She
themselves so
probably needs
much.
that, though. Amberly probably needs a little more, knocked off that high horse so she could be
It's
like...
true. She's the
'Cause she's
princess,
you know,
the chosen one,
Yeah.
whatever.
But devil's advocate for her. She's been stuck up in a castle fantasy
That's true.
special spot, so now it's like, oh, real world people. Okay. Oh, they don't like the elves.
Yeah, no, they don't like elves.
Same
Shocker.
with Will too. I mean, you're right. The elves are kind of, I want to say like the kings and queens of the land, but they are like
Upper class.
Yeah, upper class. They're up in
They're
their
the
little
1%.
castle. Yeah, exactly. The
They're like,
1%.
people don't like us?
But yeah, I mean, so like we said before, Will has a lot to learn. Amberly again has a lot to learn. Luckily, they have Eleanor. He's there to help them. Every time we say it, we have to say it like that.
Well, surprise, he's not dead. I was like, I didn't think
Yeah,
he was
I
going to
know.
die. I was like, that'd be too soon.
No,
but I like
no way.
Everybody else, though.
But I like the scene of him coming back, that like infusion from the earth and him breathing it in.
Yeah, well, he's in the
More
Druid's
examples
Keep.
of the cool magic.
Yeah,
in the show.
and it's also, he's at the
Yeah.
Druid's Keep, which is full of...
Take me here.
Exactly, take
Let
me
me
here.
bloody the map.
Because that's where he was doing his cryo sleep or his
Yes.
druid sleep. Sorry, I call it cryo sleep. So
Sure.
druid sleep, where he, was restored and had his little naparoo thing.
Yep.
So it's full of magic, and it's full of all that stuff. And I find it funny how he comes back to them and he's just like, I told you to take her to Alberlon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you knew
Yeah,
that
you knew it was
wasn't
gonna
happen.
It's not just so easy.
I
It's
did
not.
like Will's line of, though, yeah, I'm fine. That was funny. That actually was good.
Like we were talking about last
that was
time.
good,
He's,
but bump.
yeah, it's a little bit kind of deal. But we were talking last time about how he's kind of like the comic relief, which is, he's the only one, though.
Well, sometimes it's a little overplayed, but I felt that moment was a really good one where I'm like, that's a good point. Nobody asked, like, are you good?
Yeah, I was like, no. Well, Al-Anon's just like, no, I have better or bigger fish to fry, really.
Yes.
So what really, I guess, surprised me, I don't know if this also surprised you guys, but was Eretria's kind of like turn when she's like gonna cut,
Yes.
cuts
Cut the
Amberly and gives her kind of like the option.
Yep.
That was really surprising to me. There's a lot of
Well, we're getting deeper into her character in general because obviously the Rovers, they're harsh people, and her father or father figure, is it really her father?
No, it's not her father.
It's father figure, I guess,
Yeah.
in her life.
He's just kind of like
Why
the
doesn't
camp
she
leader.
leave?
Yeah. Well, she has a community.
She's had a couple of moments where he's saying these really horrible things to her,
Right.
and she's kind of having these like, I'm like, just leave.
Exactly. She doesn't really
But she
follow
probably
the
will.
lifestyle. I mean, we're getting a little bit more into her. She's like, I don't want to kill, or at least I want it to be my decision, or, whatever, which is good. So, prediction. We'll get to that.
We'll get to those.
Will's line when he looks her in the eyes and he's like, I think you're more than that. Of like, I'm just a rover. And then she kind of has a moment like, no, that's just what I am. She's like, don't say those things to me.
Those moments are a little much to be.
Sometimes
let your 12
over dramatic.
But let your 12-year-old girl self be like, "Aww."
I have those moments of
was
like,
cute,
oh,
though.
yeah, especially between like Will and Amberly. They're totally like making me, feels like
all
you
the
said.
feels.
I'm getting all the feels because I'm like, this is cute, and I know it's like okay, but it really is cute. It makes you feel some good stuff, and like I said, there's more like an emotional side to the story as well, and they really like playing it up here, which I enjoy. It's nice, but. Let's see about the Elfstones, right? Okay.
Yes.
Let's get to the
Elfstones.
big crux of the whole reason why we're here, because it's all about the Elfstones, right? And at first, Will's like obviously playing it off when Cephalo's like, hey, show me how to use them. He's like, they're nothing, bro. Like
He doesn't know how to use them.
Yeah, he
though.
doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know how to use them. But then all of a sudden, there's that surprise of like that moment where we see some of the potential that the Elfstones have.
And they're like, just a snippet of it is pretty powerful.
pretty powerful.
Yeah, but they did leave their mark in more ways than one.
Yeah, and that goes back to, Al-Anon being like, magic takes its toll.
Burns, no big deal. You can heal from that. You
No,
know.
that's okay. He passed out, got knocked out, couldn't wake up on his own. Small burns. No biggie.
It's the first time, though.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle it the first time.
Well, I feel like I don't know. Is that some sort of reference to something? No, kidding.
I just thought it was kind of
My mind went there.
Well, I guess all of us did, right? But
We'll get out of the gutter.
But I like that it was his raw emotion that brought out their energy, which is probably what he's going to have to use to channel that.
So did he quite figure out exactly how he worked? Because he just sees the demon. He's
I don't
just
think
like,
so.
oh my gosh, I have stones.
No.
Instinct? A little bit of instinct. I don't know. I probably just would have like tapped him together. There's no place like home. Help!
we have Heather in the back, like just getting like
maybe,
faster.
Maybe just holding them. He thought holding them out, something would happen. He just didn't know what.
I think
Because he didn't seem to really remember what happened either when
No.
they talked about it. So I think at that point, by the time his eyes changed color, I think he was like unconscious in a way.
I'm thinking it's like instinct. Obviously, his father had the magic kind of throwing in him, so
Genetic,
He has that Shannara blood. So he's got the little instinct going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know.
I was almost the same thing that you said, except I don't think it's really like an instinct thing. I think it's more of like that magic, coursing through his bloodline and whatnot, and him being part of the Shannara family and whatever, and they have magic running through their veins. So I think it's just like that connection of like when it's the right moment and it's the right person, you can do anything,
right?
Kind of thing. And you can defeat a fury.
She just needs to know how to like channel it, though. I think that's what's gonna have to come, because he can't. I'm sure he's gonna try. Next episode, he's gonna be like, "Okay, magic stones," and nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah. Which actually, there's one little line I think with the Elfstones. I wrote it down just in case. So Alanon tells Alanon tells Amberly that the Elfstones are Will's burden to bear. And you know what it reminded me of? Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
No, nobody.
Frodo?
No, exactly. Frodo, that's what he says. It's my burden to bear, or whatever. And I'm like, this is so similar in that sense.
There are a lot of parallels.
Yes.
I feel like in the two stories.
It's an interesting way to approach a magical device, though, of like, oh no, poor him. And he's like, no, this is his responsibility, his burden. Don't pity him.
I think we should pity him, though. I mean,
it's quite a burden. I mean, he's the only one who might be able to operate them anyway. So
yeah, but I mean, if you just pity him, that just makes it worse.
Yes.
Don't feel sorry for him. Just respect that he has to go through a lot.
I agree. Maybe not pity, but maybe like, respect and understand kind of thing.
Yes.
Maybe he should just bury them. Like his
no, because there's going to be some moment and he'll be like, oh no, I buried those.
So
Where'd they go?
if Heather was running the Four Lands, they would be destroyed by now. I mean, there would be...
No. I'm just saying, like, obviously it's a big burden. It's his responsibility. But, I mean, and we found out, like, towards the end of the episode, he said he doesn't want to be like his father. He knows what happened to his father. His father went crazy. Died. His mom's now gone. He doesn't have anything. So why would he want to be the savior of the land and to potentially end up just like his parents?
If it's going to ruin your life, I mean, it's really a big choice to make.
It is a big choice.
Well, and who's ever really ready to jump into that? Like, yes, I will be the hero. Almost all characters kind of have that moment of like, whoa, hold up.
Am I the right
brakes,
person? Yeah.
Slow it down. Because even Amber Lee, too, is like, I'm the one who has to do it. Because, you kind of think about it. And then that's maybe a good thing, because you're not having somebody who's just stupidly running in going, yeah, sure, I'll do this. Be like, whoa, break it down, think about it. Okay,
I think it works better, too, when our heroes, they become heroes by their own choice, too.
Sure.
Because heroes just
not
thrust
just
in,
destiny.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure we'll get to that eventually in the series.
I also think that, like, let's say you guys were the hero or I was the hero. It's like having that moment of like, what if I fail?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, that's Amber Lee's whole thing too.
The end of the lands.
I'm so glad that she was finally told it's not your fault. It's just happening.
Yeah, it's not happening because of you.
To you.
Yeah, it's not happening because of you. It's happening to you. So it's just like you got to accept it and be like, okay, what else can I do? Because at some point she thought it was because of her, and it's just like once she rids herself of that, she was ready to kind of like be like, okay, and really take it head on. And there's a little moment again with like that Cephalo guy. He like comes in. I was a little confused at first. I was like, wait, Amber Lee just did something awesome. And it was Alanon.
Yes.
It was Alanon.
I was so excited too. I'm like, ooh, did she get powers? And
me too. I'm like,
she didn't.
I was like, did she have magic all of a sudden? I was like, oh, is this a little twist here? No, not
But
now.
that's a good point.
Not yet.
If obviously magic exists, now they all know about it. Who gets to have magic? I mean, I feel like elves should have magic.
I feel it's
who
not
gets to
all
have
of them,
it?
though. I feel it's like...
Is it just Will? It
No,
can't be
I feel
just
it's random.
Will.
I feel it's
no,
like random.
it's not just Willy.
I think it's died out a bit, so maybe not everybody, but it probably was random to the point maybe like 1 in 4 had it, you know, not like everybody had it, because they don't talk about it. Jumping way ahead, but like of awareness of things, like when the tree opens, how everyone's like, what? It opened? Like they were surprised.
They didn't know magic. Yeah.
Again,
well,
the magic has been gone for so long.
But I think that specifically is because Amberly is a chosen, so who else would be able to open that? And I mean, the Elcrease is like accepting her in.
But again, seeing magic, people, all of them, elves and humans, are just like, what?
Yeah, I know that elves used to have magic.
It'd be like
but
if we had magic. What?
But that's like them going, yeah, demons, back to where we were. Demons. Oh, such an I told you so moment when the demons show up, and you're like, Will almost looks at everybody. He's like,
I told you guys.
Demons.
Eretria being like, he says demons are chasing them. And I'm like, yeah, they're about to chase you guys too if you guys don't man up. Like, seriously. But it actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think the elves had magic, and it took all their magic to kind of put all these demons into the forbidding and create the Elcrease and whatnot. So it's like all that's gone, and it's just like been, you know, years and years of like, well, this is what it is, because it took all they had to.
So how do they get it back?
I feel like we might see some of that getting it back throughout the series, and obviously with the Elfstones thing and everything, it's like there is still some magic, and even though the druid is the only one who has like elemental magic, there are going to be moments, I feel like, where we see these really awesome magic.
Well, isn't visions just a kind of magic anyway?
Actually,
the dude.
So we'll get to that. So then, you're like the dude. So this was actually, first of all, let me point this out. So when they see the dead bodies outside of this little cottage thing, that was pretty gnarly. But
really gnarly.
like, so this was just, I laughed because I was like, okay, Will goes inside to puke.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm like,
all of the land.
I'm like, huh. I mean, it's granted, it looks more like a little shed type deal. I don't know if it's a house,
someone who needs to man up, by the way, Will, get it together.
I don't know. He's probably not seen that many dead bodies.
I give him a pass. That would be pretty gruesome.
Gnarly.
There were guts hanging.
Yes.
Hanging low.
And shredded hands.
to the
But he saw a demon's head get chopped off.
But that's a demon. You don't care.
I guess that's true.
It's not a human.
It's
you
not
don't
a
have
human.
that connection.
Yeah. But so he goes inside to puke and then comes across this, door, this locked door when Amberly comes in as well.
Gee, what do we do?
What do we do? Do we like knock? Do we go in? What do we do? So, she breaks down the lock. It's very surprising how I almost feel like it was like, yes, it could be a human, but yes, it could be a demon. I would have been so much more cautious.
There was no moment of like calling out, hello, who's there?
Is there anyone
there? Could have taken
there?
2 seconds. Actually, that would have been better if they had called out, hello, is anyone there? No reply, and then they go in anyways.
Something.
Because then at least they tried. Because like trying nothing and then like, let's go in the space that we don't
we
know
already
anything's
established
there.
they're not the best heroes yet.
No, and we've already established that they both have a lot to learn.
Yes.
But
conveniently, his chain can't go that far.
Yes, otherwise he would have probably run over them and then run into the horizon, and who knows what would have happened with that poor boy. But so we come across Bandon.
Bandon.
We have a new character who is also an elf. It looks like he has little elf ears, but he's chained. He's chained and kind of like gagged or masked or whatever. And then when we get to the next scene, they start talking to him. Not we start talking to him. I'm not in there.
We did.
I'm not in there.
The TV screen. Hey, you.
But Amberly and Will start, asking him, and it turns out his parents had chained him up, and I'm like,
what? Now, were his parents the people outside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were his parents.
I mean, I figured, but
yeah, parents dead. He knows that. He figured because he heard the demon and whatnot.
Why would they lock him up that way?
Why would they lock him up? Why would they chain him?
But not even just chained up, the face gag too, because that's very specific.
It's very
and his hands were behind his back.
Mysterious guy.
I can't remember so far.
I think his hands were behind his back because it was also when he touches people, he gets like the visions. So speaking of visions,
so from what we can gather from both what Al-Anon says and just what we get to see later on is that it looks like Bandon has some sort of powers and either has magic and is hiding it.
I can't read him.
Yeah, he's like, I can't read him. So that's a huge thing because druids are like top of the line here, and if a druid can't figure it out, then we'll probably want to take some caution. But Amberly welcomes him.
Of course she does.
To Arborlawn.
Join our party.
I have room on the back of my horse.
Wait. Him, give him everything.
Side theory here.
Okay.
What if he killed all those people?
Ooh. Yes. it's possible.
Yes.
Although I kind of feel like
I
he's
don't
a
think
good
so,
guy.
but
You feel like he's a good guy?
Yeah.
I
I feel like he's
I feel like
good.
it'd be much better if he was not.
Well,
We'll find out. That will go under predictions.
we'll definitely see.
I mean, I feel like we learned that he's a good guy because later on when we get to the palace and stuff. But still,
Yeah.
But still, that would be a nice twist. I feel like there haven't been any real twists lately yet.
No.
Nothing crazy.
No, I feel like we're gonna get some twists like in the next 2 episodes, especially.
Well, they're still establishing things, so
that.
they can't totally
True
spin us on our
that.
heads yet. Because then we'd be like, "Wait, who's this character? We don't know who they are. We don't care." It's once we got all the groundwork out, then it can be like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Yes, agreed. I very much agree there. But he's an interesting cat.
Very interesting.
Because he seems like he does. I'm assuming, obviously, he's magical. If Druid says it, I'm on board. But so then Amberly invites him to go home
Their
with
palace.
her to the palace, and she doesn't really get like a warm welcome.
No,
Because you're not allowed to abandon your post, right?
That was quite kind of sacrilegious, really.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like they're in such a dire state. I mean, all of the Chosen were slaughtered within the walls. The Elf Crease is dying. The demons are around, and they're gonna scold her for getting scared and running away. Like, I don't know. I
let's just
feel
give her a slap on the wrist and move
exactly.
on.
I feel like there doesn't
let's
need to
forgive it
be
this time.
exactly. Like, there's so much going on. Like, probably we can forgive her
This time.
And since
Yeah.
she's the only one alive, and obviously they need some help.
they do. They do need some help, and it's. I mean, at this point, I don't think everybody in the Elven Council quite gets it until obviously Al-Anon, Amberly show up and kind of tell them about it and kind of present the situation.
Yeah.
And the fact, I think that, with Eventine, and she tells him that Pyrea is dead as well, it's just kind of like, it's all kind of snowballing. So, I mean, this is the last shot, really. What else do we have?
Will, and then Will's entrance. I love that of like,
That was pretty good.
put hands up, take your, Al-Anon's like, don't touch him. He's a brother of the family. And then
Like, no, he's not. He's not part of this family.
Yeah, that's how he talks, man. That prince is so annoying.
And he's like, well, he's
such a
Shannara.
spoiled brat. And it's like,
Shannara.
what?
But, at first I was like, Will giving up on this quest, being like, I just kind of want to be a normal person. This isn't me. I don't want to be consumed by this.
Right.
I was like, look, if he were to have left, I wouldn't have hated him for it, because that's a lot. It's a huge burden.
Right.
But he's not going to leave a pretty girl.
But that's what I thought. I wrote that down. I put like, of course Will isn't going to leave. That's literally what I put down. 'Cause I'm like, duh. Like, but then he comes across, before he even goes back into like, the Elven Council, he bumps into Bandon, and Bandon tells him, there we go, about what happened when Amberly touched him.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of that? What did you guys...
Well, I thought it was interesting that Bandon didn't actually touch Will. He tried to avoid it.
Yes.
He's probably
specifically-
scared by the visions, I feel like. No?
I don't know, because he specifically touched Amberly and saw it, and then was like, either he doesn't know he gets them, and they touched her and was like, whoa, I shouldn't touch anybody.
Wait, he touched Amberly or Amberly touched him? I thought Amberly touched him.
Good question. I think they bumped into each other.
Well,
see,
there
then
was
maybe
touching of
They're
sorts.
touching.
Well, okay, but you have to understand like where he's coming from, because like obviously his parents locked him up for some reason, magic. So clearly he doesn't. And magic's supposed to be gone in this world.
I think he
so
knows
maybe
if he touches people, though.
Yeah,
Because it was
any
a very
kind of contact,
specific
maybe.
of like, ooh, let me.
I mean, people are kind of.
dodge.
I mean, now all the demons, people are kind of scared. I would imagine of magic. He doesn't want to reveal, himself. I wouldn't.
Maybe also
I really did the same thing too.
Yeah. And I would think that if like you just had a horrible vision like that, you probably don't want any more.
Right.
At least
I mean,
for the time
exactly.
being. One
And
at a
we'll
time,
do the exact
please.
same thing.
Or kill the messenger. It's not going to even matter what he tells anybody. They're just going to be like, you're saying bad things. And he's
It's
like,
your fault.
it's not. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, fine. I'm not going to bother telling you.
Yeah. But what did you guys specifically think about what he saw? Because he sees Amberly
Yes.
all bloodied up and dead.
If Will doesn't help her,
yes.
essentially. Because that's his... I mean, they're
I don't
not
know how he got to
necessarily
that
in the
conclusion,
same
but-
sentence. Yeah, because they're not in the same train of thought, because it's her bloody, and then he tells Will, she'll die. So it's probably, if you don't go with her, this will happen.
Yeah.
He thinks Will is a protector.
Tries to be. He's
And
trying,
more.
though. He's trying, and he has the conviction of like, I'm supposed to protect you. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And you're like,
Well, again, he's not very good at it.
he
but,
has
you
the
know,
gumption.
He's
You're
getting
like,
there.
all
He's
right,
getting
go,
there.
kid.
It's okay. At some point, we're going to say, man, Will is so good at this.
I'm sure he. Yep, it'll come to
He
him.
is so great.
He has
and
the
then,
training wheels right now.
Yeah, he's in baby stages
Yeah.
for
He's getting
sure.
there. He needs a sword. don't need swords.
Well, we're about to see some sort of sword fighting going on at some point. But I actually think this is so weird, and maybe it's only because what happened last time when Amberly in the first episode, she touches, I think, Lauren, and then she sees that she killed him.
Yes.
And it's the changeling. So I was thinking, like, what if this is another situation like that? Because the changeling, we don't know.
But nobody knows of the changeling yet either.
To our knowledge, wasn't in this episode either. There was no, like, it's here.
To our knowledge, no. But the last time we saw him, he was that dog.
Palace. Yeah. So it could be anyone, anywhere, anything.
Yes.
And to everyone else's knowledge, they don't even know the changeling exists.
Yeah.
They're not sure how the people got murdered, or they're not sure of these things.
Well, I meant actually, like, in the vision. You know how, like, instead of being, like, Amberly that's dead, it's, like, a changeling.
Well, and he doesn't necessarily, he doesn't know there's a changeling there, so he would have the same kind of confusion.
I see. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel that could totally be a possibility.
Possibly. I think what was really important, I know I said that maybe Bandon is like a bad guy, but I think at that moment we kind of realized he's a good guy. Because he wouldn't have, if he had any other agenda, exactly.
Or he'd be sneaky about it, be like, don't go here.
Yeah.
Like, have some sort of, like,
go back home,
He looks really
Will,
he
you
looks
shouldn't
scared.
be here.
Yeah. And we'll see, I guess, how he develops.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's a character in the book, because at least to where I had seen.
Leave a comment on the YouTube page. Let us know.
Oh yeah. If someone knows, because I've only read part of, like, the first book, but, like, so far what I've read, the book and the series are quite different. So far, I have not come across Bandon.
Yeah.
And I tried to not look up too many spoilers because I don't want to know what happens.
No spoilers on the comments, guys. But you've done a really good job, though. People have said some good stuff of, like, commenting on the parallels, so we do appreciate that, by the way.
Yeah, and anybody who's also, like, a fan of the books and whatnot, please feel free to leave us comments because we haven't read.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, and there was, and I'm so glad that some of the fans of the books are also kind of tuning into the series, understanding that it is for, like, a kind of different audience because it's definitely MTV, it's very modern.
Yep.
But we really do appreciate the comments because
I should read the books. That's, like, my favorite thing to do, just complete
They're
tangent
kind of big
here.
books, though, that you're going to have to read really fast to get caught up.
You know what? And
or at least the first one, because I do have the first one at home, and I'm like, it's
only
fat.
10 episodes, so we only have a few more weeks anyway, so I'll just probably...
Yeah. I'm reading as I go, but so far, it's very different, the way it has come across, and, like, some of the characters that we like meet them earlier than we do in the books and whatnot. But I mean, so far it's like Terry Brooks said. He said that the heart of the story is being captured through the series, and I really agree with him. I think there's a lot of nice moments. And so the Elven Council does accept, the girl.
They kind of have to.
They kind of have to. At one point I was like, what if they say no, she tries to jump the fence, and then all, hell breaks loose. I was like, oh, that would be kind of fun too. But no, they accept, and
which was the right thing to do.
Yes. Did you guys notice, by the way, that when she walked in there, I was like, man, these Elven Council people really, these elves really look like Star Wars. Are you like with the first, first, not 4, 5, 6, but 1, 2, 1 and 3, just kind of the wardrobe and the headpieces.
The council, kind of.
But like the way they're dressed, and the headpieces specifically.
She's not convinced.
I mean, sci-fi and fantasy are very similar and dissimilar at the same time. So.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is kind of a mixture of both. I mean, it's got the fantasy
technically it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. I'm solely talking about, however, the design of, like, what they look like. As in, like, the dress and, like, the headpiece. I feel like, now I can't remember the names.
It's interesting they're all in black. I feel their colors are a little more earthy tones. But
they're like a black and, like, a burgundy-ish, right?
Yeah.
Like a crimson.
I wonder if that's
the
like
black
an omen.
headpiece was so, like...
I wonder if that's, like, a sign that the elves are going to, like... turn, because they're not, to me, because again, we were talking about this earlier, how Amberly, she leaves, she's scared, and then they don't quite accept her right away, which I feel like they should have. Like, there's just so much turmoil.
No, but this land is all about, especially the elves, they're all about tradition, and she broke one by trying to run the gauntlet, right, in this version of the story.
Do you think that possibly their need to, like, have the tradition is going to overshadow their need to survive?
No, I feel like at some point everything's going to get thrown out the window, which we kind of are seeing now, because let's say that
they follow their king.
They do.
Like, they don't believe in magic, but then the king says, I was wrong, which king. Like, that's a big thing to say, I was wrong.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like I guess maybe he just didn't know anymore, but he knows that there was magic, obviously, as anyone else does. But so let's just talk about like that one final scene, and then we'll get into some fun predictions. But so then we have Amberly kneeling in front of Eventine, being accepted kind of, and accepting her new
Does that sound
challenge.
like a wedding proposal thing to anybody else? It sounded like, do you accept this? No, but like her, like, in a way it is. It's her responsibility.
Her bridal moment.
It is, because it's her responsibility to the tree, and she's forming this relationship because he's like, do you accept this responsibility? I do. Do you accept it?
Oh, yes.
I do.
Yes.
And like that, like, dialogue was very much like a marriage, but I thought that was really cool because it is her commitment to the tree, and the tree is going to judge her on her commitment.
The tree judges? Oh my goodness.
It is.
That tree is a sneaky thing.
That thing, the king was just like...
So she has to, in order to get the seed, right? In order to get the seed to take to the safe hold and the blood fire and whatnot, she has to pass a test. If she passes the test, she gets the seed. If she fails the test, she dies. That is quite, like... Whew, girl, good luck.
Her and Will should have just run off together, have little elf babies, and be done.
Oh,
with it.
I feel like
that's gonna happen anyways.
I'm like, I mean, there's obviously gonna be some good stuff, which we saw with some previews. But have you guys played Legend of Zelda? Ocarina?
A long time ago.
Okay. I was gonna say, let me see if anyone on YouTube thought this, but did anyone think like Deku Tree when the door opens? I'll just throw that out there, and you guys can let me know. I'm like, sorry, because I love that game, and it just reminded me of it because Link enters the Deku Tree to.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm gonna stop now.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
great.
But so
I just liked how they all were so surprised it actually opened kind of attitude. Like everyone's like, we've never seen this.
Well, they probably haven't seen it open.
Haven't. Yeah.
But so we'll see what kind of fate Amberly.
That was a beautiful shot too. Her walking in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice
The whole scenery in general was
loved
beautiful.
I loved her hair in the last scene too.
Yes, you did tell me. It is really. It's really nice. And then I love that moment between Amberly and Will, kind of at the end. I mean, they're just having all these nice moments
in front of everybody. It's like,
yeah, and he's like, I wish I could go in there with you. Like, it's very nice to know that
the hero is coming through.
It is, and he's gonna be there by her side, and he's hoping just as we are that she makes it out fine.
I do want to add, I preface that I love her hair because it's fashionable and functioning kind of hair.
Okay.
Because it's functional. Anyway, it's functional. Functional hair. Thank you. Because too many times in fantasy and action movies and sci-fi movies, girls have their hair all in their face.
You mentioned that last week, didn't you?
Yeah. I like that they're getting nice, stylish hair for her that is like, we have it nicely out of her face.
Yeah.
No, but it's still pretty.
It looks very nice, and I love the ears peeking through.
A little bit.
Kind of wish I had put peeking ears of the elven kind.
You just stick them on your headphones next week.
Next time I'll bring some little, So anyway, and then we get to see just little clips of what's going to happen next week, which looks super, super cool. It's going to be a battle in there, the test, so we'll see what's coming up there. But let's get into some predictions.
I want to push
now,
pause.
your AFTERBUZZ TV.
No, when it's like the what's coming up next time, I almost want to pause there.
I actually didn't. I didn't see it because I watched it online. Because I have no cable. Shh.
I watched it online too, but I saw what was coming next. I'm like,
all right, well, predictions.
But anyway, predictions. So let's see. What do you guys think is gonna happen? Maybe something on the test. What do you guys think we're gonna see?
I forgot my train of thought that I was saving, so let's start with you.
I think Amberly's gonna pass the test.
I think so too.
Otherwise, our show would be over. I think she'll pass the test. I think it's going to make her confront some things about herself, which will be good that she can finally move on. And I hope Will finally step up and get better at being the hero. What is her name?
Eretria.
Thank you. Yeah. The other one, Eretria, I feel she's going to leave the group and join our merry band of heroes and go help them.
Do you think that the show is going a little too fast? Like, all of a sudden, she can save everybody in the next episode. It's only episode 4.
No, I think
don't think so?
They only got 10 episodes.
We're just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
I think with this really helping to set it up.
We've seen the big baddie once, so...
Yeah, we need more Dagda more, because he's cool.
Yeah. All right, are you still thinking?
I think I remembered.
Okay.
I do agree with you that
Eretria.
Thank you.
Or Eretria.
I told you, I'm
yeah.
getting the names. I'm getting them. Eretria is going to join the heroes, but I also think that Bandon's going to be a really interesting character to watch.
I do think he's going to be an interesting character.
Yeah, I mean, because I think he is a good guy, but I think he has qualities that can play both sides. And we know that the demons can change into people. Can they see in people's minds? Can they use that? But
nobody can read his mind.
But can a demon? I don't know, because demons can do
Bandon, who
anything.
are you?
Exactly. And there's so much mystery surrounding his character. Why was he locked up?
Yeah.
What happened to his family?
Yeah.
There's so much that I want to learn. I feel like he's the most interesting for me right now.
Because he's so mysterious.
He's so mysterious.
There's just not,
no backstory on him whatsoever. But I think he clearly is a good guy, and I hope that he travels with the merry band of heroes.
Yeah, me too. I hope it's not just like the trio, but I hope Bandon comes along. Unfortunately, I do think that we're going to see him perish, but in like a really cool way, either in the middle of like saving someone.
He sacrifices himself.
Exactly. We're going to see some sort of sacrificial thing going on for the better good of the trio, because the trio, I feel like, is what really makes it. And I do think that during that test, Amberly's going to have to face some really difficult choices, fighting, her own kind of like her own people. And it's like, is this real? Is it not real? What are the consequences? So she's going to be tested furiously during that test. Sorry. Double.
I think it's going to be kind of a dumb test, though, in a way, only because she knows somebody's dead. And if you see them again, you know they're dead.
Yeah.
Move on.
Do we think that her people are going to get on board and support her?
No, I think what's going to happen is
they're going to see a demon. And then they'll be like,
I don't even know if they need to see a demon. I just feel like...
I feel like they do. I feel like they're still kind of just
when she comes out, then they'll be like, all right, we're on your side now.
I feel like, exactly. And they're going to know, because the Elcrease wouldn't just give up its seed unless it were dying, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like once they see that, they're going to be like, all right, gung-ho, who's coming with this girl? And they're going to band up together. And they're not just going to let her go off with Will and Al-Anon, even though Al-Anon is like the bee's knees. But, they're not just going to let her go off like that. So empty, per se. I think there's going to be like her own little safe hold traveling with her. We're going to slowly see them perish. I think Bandon's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
To only be left Amberly and Will?
And Al-Anon. I see
Al-Anon. And they rebuild the world.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. Okay, so that is it for this week. But first of all, let's start with this first. Please, sorry. Anyway, tune in next week. We're going to do a review and recap and whatnot of episode 4, which I think is called Changeling. And please comment on YouTube, tweet at us, rate us on iTunes, whatever you guys can do.
Back.
Yeah,
we'll read it.
I'm definitely trying to comment back. I know these ladies are doing, the same thing.
I'll comment.
So, because we love to have you guys in conversation. This is as much about for you guys as it is for us, because we love this show. And if you guys love the story, love the show, let us know. Please. And if you guys have any questions or anything that we're like missing or need to touch upon, just let us know. We want to keep you guys in the loop. So I think that's it.
I think so.
Yeah. So ladies, where can everybody find you guys?
You can find me online at Karie D. Lane on Twitter, Instagram, and on Facebook you can find me at Karie Lane Actor.
You can find me Twitter, Instagram, pretty much all of them. Heather GTV. I'm Heather Gardner.
Awesome. And you can find me, Maria Cavassuto, on Twitter and Instagram at MGCVSST. Don't forget to follow AFTERBUZZ TV on any of the social media that it's on. So Twitter, we got Instagram, we got our YouTube. Please subscribe. Use the hashtag. We're using hashtag Shannara, hashtag Shannara Chronicles.
ABTV Shannara.
Yes, I think we're going to start working with that one a little bit. So please, anything that you can, tweet at us, YouTube us.
Do it.
Whatever you got to do, you do. And we shall see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.